Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. New Life Live is dedicated to transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Greetings and welcome to New Life Live. So glad that you're here with us. We're glad to be here with each other. And that each other is Chris Williams, Dr. Sheri Keffer, me, Steve Arterburn. Hi, guys.
Hey, it's great to be with you two men today.
Yes, great to see you, Sheri. It's been a minute.
I know, it's been a minute. I was on vacation.
What was the highlight? Give us one little non-personal highlight.
Well, it's funny because my husband said it really wasn't a vacation. It was a workcation. But we bought a little place kind of up in the mountains. So we were on 30-foot scaffolding together. This is how you bond as a couple. You build scaffolding like an erector set. Then you crawl up to the very top while he's changing light bulbs and fixing a strap that's hanging down. And I don't know. We bonded in fear, we bonded in joy, we bonded in celebration, and then we hired a guy to help him take it down because I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. But it was so good to just
that's great.
Work together and play together.
Sounds very constructive.
Yeah.
Both for the marriage and personally and for your cabin.
Yeah.
So congratulations on that.
Yeah.
Well, today we have a brand new devotional that we're wanting people to either purchase or we'll give you one for a gift of any amount. It's called 100 Days to Freedom from Shame. We did a population survey and discovered that 2% do not relate to this particular topic. We all have a little bit of residual
and that 2% has really, really strong denial mechanisms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
shame's a hard thing to talk about. Well, and I think people do we really understand even what shame is? I don't know that there's probably one person on planet Earth outside of Jesus that hasn't had to deal with shame. He did, right? Because our shame went on him.
Yeah.
But it's part of the fall.
Well,
right?
it's the very first experience we had in separation from God. So it only makes sense that it's universal.
Yeah.
I think there are two sources of shame. Maybe you can think of three. That is my challenge to you. But the first source is we're doing something shameful. Mm-hmm. And we have not decided to get help to stop it or even decided to try to stop it. Or we tried and failed to stop it, which keeps you doing whatever you're doing. And then the second reason for shame, oh gosh, I just came up with a third. The second reason for shame is we've never accepted Christ's forgiveness for what we have done in the past. So you have shame. In fact, people in AA who don't have Christ, Life Recovery is a complete recovery program because you can completely be rid of all that shame. The third is, here it is, you are still feeling the shame that someone else put on you.
That's right. Yep.
Either from verbally abusing you and making you feel ashamed to just be you, or they did a shameful thing to you and you're feeling shameful about it when it was done to you. You were a victim of abuse. Can you think of a fourth?
No, but I like that summary, is that shame comes from the harm we've done, the harm done to us, and our separation from Christ.
There you go.
And, the thing that is interesting, Steve, in what you just said is shame can become a stronghold in our lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Whenever we believe the shame belief, we make an agreement with it. And then that gets us really stuck and rooted. But here at New Life, we are all about helping people get free of those lies and shame.
1-800-229-3000. If you want to join us, 1-800-229-3000. We'll be here 2 hours. Love to talk to you.
It had become very apparent that some of the things I was involved with were taking over my life.
In today's world, men are barraged with inappropriate content and images all day, every day. Some say that certain behaviors are just no big deal. It's just part of being a guy. But it's simply not true. It's a battleground for every man, and the opportunities to fail are everywhere. New Life's Every Man's Battle Workshop can help.
After 7 years, he just one weekend, a completely changed man.
For over 20 years, New Life Ministries has been helping men regain their integrity and purity through their one-of-a-kind Every Man's Battle Workshop.
He said, I think this is something that every man should go to. Married, dating, it was definitely life-changing.
Battle Workshop is coming to Dallas September 9th to the 11th. Don't wait for him to call. To find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or go to newlife.com.
I just can't say enough of what New Life has done for our marriage.
1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are right here. And this weekend, a lot of men are going to walk away from an event with no shame. And that's Every Man's Battle in Dallas, Texas. And if you're struggling with sexual temptation, or you've fallen into the temptation, or you have even gotten into the repeated cycle, it's habitual or even addiction, we can help you get free. Every man's battle. Most of the men walk out of there and the struggle has a path to victory, and they stay on that path. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you know somebody, a friend, a husband, a brother, a son, this is the weekend if you're in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Every man's battle. It really is the first step out of shame and into hope. Oh my goodness. And hope, repeated hope, it results in happiness. 1-800-NEW-LIFE, Every Man's Battle. Let's go to the calls. And it's 1-800-229-3000, and we're going to go right to Faye, calling from Washington, D.C. She watches us on the New Life Live YouTube channel. Hello, Faye. How are you today?
Hey, Steve. I'm hanging in there. I'm doing all right.
Well, hang in there long enough to tell us what you're hanging in there over, and we'll give you some help with the hang, okay?
Okay. Well, I was married to a man addicted to porn, addicted to women, and on August 8th, he strangled me. I attended Emotional Freedom Workshop, and I met a lot of new friends there. And now I have a nice support system from the Emotional Freedom Workshop.
Good.
I moved out. I got my own place now. I'm starting my life over, wanting to live free from abuse. And my husband denies that he ever strangled me. He said it didn't happen. And I'm dealing with that. I'm dealing with no closure. I'm dealing with how to get closure. I do have a legal team, a support team, a medical team. And I just wanted to know if you or the team had any advice for me starting my new life over.
I do, but I want to hear from Sheri and then Chris, and then I'm going to help you with the closure issue. Here you go, Sheri.
Well, hey, Faye, you know what? I am so stinking proud of you. Do you know that?
Thank you so much, Sheri.
Yeah, you're doing a great job. I don't know if anyone's told you that today, but I want you to know you're doing a great job. You're taking care of yourself. You've taken steps away from an abuser. And do you know, they did some research with 1,630 couples, and what they were looking at is the impact of pornography on male aggression. And what they showed is men who look at porn are more aggressive towards women. They're actually more aggressive towards men as well. And they don't attach to their spouse as well. Now, all of us might kind of say, well, yeah, that makes sense. But to actually have research with that many couples was telling. Now, this is the challenge. When somebody isn't taking ownership over what he did to you physically and relationally, it's weird because it can cause us to feel stuck, as if until they actually own the truth of what they did, we feel like we don't have that satisfaction, or we can't just land in our own truth camp. But when he's telling you, I didn't strangle you, when he's denying that, I don't know what you're talking about, what he's doing to you is more abuse. It's called gaslighting. It's psychological abuse because he doesn't want to take ownership. And so when somebody is psychologically abusing you, how much control do you have over that person? On a scale from 0 to 10%, or 0 to 10, how much control do you have over somebody who strangled you and is looking at porn and is abusive? How much control do you have?
0.
Uh-huh. See what I'm so proud. You're so proud of you. You're so smart. But you know how beautiful that is? Because when we have 0% control over what somebody else is going to do, do you know who takes 100% control of us? Ourselves. You can walk away with 100% guarantee that he strangled you. I believe you. Chris believes you. Steve, do you believe her?
Absolutely.
Okay. You just have 3 of us that are on your team, and we've said we believe you. You can walk away and not wait another second for him.
Absolutely. And so, Faye, in that walking away, you're going to enter into this thing that we like to call complicated grief. And it's a living grief. It's a living loss. And it's complicated because he has meant something to you, even though it has been painful and destructive and necessary to leave. So part of moving on is entering into that loss process, allowing your heart to feel the sadness, the confusion, and even the fear of uncertainty of what the future may be. And I want you to be able to hold a paradox, meaning 2 things that seem opposed to each other that are happening at the same time that are true. One, you have this hope for the future. You have this, maybe it's a subtle excitement to go and rebuild a new life. And on the other hand, you have this lingering sadness and hurt. And that needs cared for. And so this development process requires that we have the resiliency and the wisdom to hold both of these truths together as we move forward, and a place to put them. So like a group of women in your life where you can talk about, yes, I have this hope, and yes, I'm excited about this, and I still have this heartbreak and this hurt and this confusion.
Yes.
And I love that you have a team. Use your team to be able to help you do that.
Okay, so closure starts with the same letter as choices. And you will not have closure if you make too few choices. For instance, physically, you need to have closure. That means he should not ever be around you again, because he might kill you this time. You don't know what a man who has been rejected might do. So that might involve a restraining order. That might involve literally you deciding, you know what, life's too short. I'm going to move and get away from this guy. Whatever it takes, cameras, alarms around wherever you're living, you need to feel physically safe and have no interaction with him. Legally, you have some choices to make there, what you're going to do about all of this. And in everything you do, you would always be open to the fact that in 2 or 3 years, if he was a different person because he humbled himself and got help, it might be different. But there's not much evidence that that's going to happen. But you need to do what you need to do legally to be totally closed in this relationship the best that you can legally. Spiritually, you need to be in a women's Bible study. You need to be praying for wisdom. How to close this up? How do I accept your forgiveness, God? How do I accept the fact that you want the best for us, but you still give us freedom of choice? And you need to be reading that Bible, studying the Bible. And I would say a great Christian female therapist is going to help you, not just spiritually, but emotionally.
Yes.
And you want to do whatever it takes to have emotional closure. For some people, that means I've got to go to a counselor who specializes in trauma, because you have been traumatized, not just the strangling, but the fear and just the regret, all that stuff. You've got trauma upon trauma. So if you want closure, you have to make enough choices to bring that about. Here's what some people do for closure. They pray they'll have closure. Well, praying and not doing anything is a mistake. Nehemiah asked God to protect the city. And then he said, and I put watchmen on the wall to be sure we were protected. So he asked God to do something, and then he did what he could do. Versus, dear Lord, I am into magical thinking, and I think that I'm going to ask you to do a miracle here, and you're absolutely going to respond. That isn't what happened. So you have to do what you can do, and one day you wake up and go, wow, I don't have a bunch of residual guilt or shame, residual fear, emotion. I feel safe in every way.
You know, it's so
Yes.
it's so interesting, Steve, as I hear you. I'd love to send her a copy of my book, Intimate Deception,
Well,
Healing
we're gonna
the
give her
Wounds
that,
of
no
Sexual
question.
Betrayal. But opening the show, Faye, today with my kinsman redeemer, who today is actually our wedding anniversary. We've been married 9 years. But to be together on scaffolding, working on a project together where I feel so safe and loved and seen. Girl, I just want to speak hope into your heart and your future, because God does restore what the locusts have eaten, and it's right there in front of you, girl.
So good.
All right.
Thank you.
And I hope that this is helpful to you. I'm going to send you Sheri's book. I think it's going to be really, really good for you. I think it's good for anybody who's ever been betrayed, deceived. It's a great book for healing. So that is coming your way. I will also send you a restoration Bible. I'm going to send that to you. Hope that that'll be a blessing also. And I'm so grateful that you let us share this and to try to help you achieve and experience what you deserve. And that really is to be free and closed. Now, we have, and I would hope you'd go to this, we have a seminar coming up. And our early bird special ends today. It's our recovery conference, and it's called the Repurposed Life Conference. So to experience repurposing, you blow it, you think God can't use it, or you're confused about what God wants to do with you, and then you come to this conference and you see that God is not finished with you. God never took his calling away from you. Everybody has a calling, not just priests and prophets and preachers. Mm-hmm. Everybody has a calling. And we're going to help you find it and live into it. You have to do some closure things, like you have to believe you're forgiven, and you have to believe that God has called you and wants to restore you. That's what we're going to be talking about. And today it ends, the early bird special. I don't know what the late duck special is, but I know early bird is there. So please come, be a part of it. And I tell you, I don't think you'll ever regret it. If you'll call and sign up, it's going to be amazing. And, of course, the conference is September the 24th. September 24th. Actually, I think the early bird ends tomorrow. or the next day.
It's amazing, Steve. I'm thinking about this repurpose. God, Kyle and I had a U-Haul, and we ran over some nails. And one thing we didn't know about U-Haul is they cover tires 100% of the time. And when you think about God repurposing our life, He just doesn't patch our tires. You get a whole new set.
Yeah.
And that's what this conference is going to be about, is figuring out, like you said, wherever you've come from, how God can give you a whole new set of tires and move forward with that.
Well, there's your great analogy where the rubber meets the road and Christ is there. And He has tread your path before you and wants to do it. If you need help, we'd love to talk to you right now. 1-800-229-3000. 1-800-229-3000. We'll talk with Terry right after this break. You are listening to New Life Live, and we are so glad that you are.
I came into this thinking that my husband was the cause of many of our issues.
The New Life Intimacy and Marriage Workshop is coming to Dallas, Texas, October 21st to the 23rd.
But after learning about our attachment styles, I understood how our past hurts were playing into our present problems.
Join Steve Arterburn.
It's been a dream of mine for a long time to help people to grow more intimately together, and we believe that everybody has room to grow in the intimacy level of their life.
And Milan and Kay Yurkovich.
We help couples understand how their attachment style is sabotaging their current relationship. And then we teach them how to create comfort in a relationship.
And New Life's group counselors will help you focus on the area that will benefit your marriage most. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Here at this workshop, we had our first ever conversation without yelling, blaming, and accusing.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I turned on New Life, and the topic that day was about anxiety. And just by listening, I got relief.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the Life Recovery Bible personal size, the 1-year Life Recovery Prayer Devotional, the New Life Journal, a New Life pen and highlighter, and a New Life zipper tote to hold it all. Plus, there are ongoing benefits like access to the Club New Life video library, the monthly Club New Life CD or download, quarterly resources, free shipping on purchased resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, 1-800-229-3000. We have a special going on for the Lumina event this November 3rd and November 4th, where Jen Wilkin is going to be speaking, along with Lauren Green McAfee, Ruth Mahatra, what a story she's got, and Nicole C. Mullen. It's an amazing beginning of an event where women rise. Today, we have a limited time special. It's called the Carpool Special or Drive-By Special. But anyway, if you and 3 women can get in a car together, $59 for a ticket at the Museum of the Bible. It is one amazing experience in that auditorium that does more stuff than any auditorium can do. So I hope and pray that you could join us if you're a woman. Just get 3 other people. $59 a ticket. It's like half price. So it's the Carpool Fly-By, Drive-By Special. You can find out about it by going to newlife.com, clicking on the Lumina banner. It is a wonderful, wonderful event. And this is the first one. You can get in on the ground floor. I have people that went to all 20 years of Women of Faith from the beginning to the end. You can be that person too. You can call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can go to newlife.com. But you call us, we'll put you in touch with the folks that'll help you get that ticket. All right. Let's go to Terry. Milton Freewater, KLRF is the station. Hi, Terry.
Thanks for taking my call.
The little box is too little for me to see where you're totally from. Where are you from?
In the Milton Freewater area of
Okay.
near the border of Oregon and Washington.
All right. Well, what could we help you with?
Well, I need to find a way to respond graciously and encourage a new friend who has given me a generous offer, but I don't know that I feel at ease with the offer for the birthday gift that she's offered. She's
All right.
a master Reiki practitioner, and I don't know much about that, but I have wonderings of whether it is congruous with Christianity or not. And in speaking up about the offer, if it's not congruous with Christianity, then I don't have good models in my life for speaking truth and grace in the same picture. So I'm an empathic person who's worked hard for 25 years on my own healing journey, but I'm in an area that I don't know much about on this topic. So she's offered to give me a free session, which was generous of her, which I thanked her for her kindness, but I haven't replied to her further.
She would be doing this, is that right?
That's what I understand.
Yeah. Well, I let them go first before. I'm going to go first on this because it's risky. I'll take the risk.
It's your program.
If I had, if a friend of mine, new friend, said, "Hey, I would like to do this, let's just say massage therapy or Reiki or anything, Reiki, no matter whatever it was," I would say, "Hey, Bob, I don't know. I just feel a little weird about being your friend and doing that. So I appreciate the offer, but I'm just, I've been through a lot of things, and I'm going to have to pass on it." So I would just do it based on, I wouldn't want a friend of mine to be doing that because it kind of would, in my mind, change the relationship. It'd be strange. So that's one thing that you could say. The other thing that you could say, you get to determine whether or not she's going to be a friend. Because you could say, well, I know Reiki is based on this Eastern philosophy, and that there's this universal energy that flows through your hands as they're just right above my body, things like that. And as a Christian, it just seems a bit strange to me. I don't know a lot about it, but I think I'm just going to have to pass because I really believe, that God, the God of the Bible, is where power comes from, and it's not a thing out of Japan or some philosophy. That might be that. I think I would clumsily probably say something. One of those two things would be my response. Now let's hear from the experts, Chris and Sheri. What do you guys think?
Yeah, similarly, I just think that there are oftentimes these incidences in our life where we're asked to do something, even if it's a gift of generosity, to do something outside of our comfort zone or outside of our belief system. So whatever that is, even if it's an act of generosity, no thank you is a completely appropriate response. Now, I love, Terry, that you want to do this with grace and with truth. And so being generous and, as you said, I acknowledge and I'm thankful that you did this. And it's, again, such an act of kindness and generosity. It's just something I'm not comfortable doing at this time. And so, and it's not, and you also want to just keep setting boundaries if she tries to talk you into it. So a lot of people, when they're offering a gift, it's like, they may feel rejected but just hold it. It's like, yeah, I hear what you're saying and I appreciate that. But hold the ground. I'm not comfortable doing this.
All right, we're going to take a break and we'll hear from Sheri on this. It is touchy because, there is potential to have a great friendship there. But if it's a friendship based on either think my way or the highway, then it's not much of a friendship. You'll get to discover that probably. We'll hear from Sheri right after this. 1-800-229-3000. If you need help other than the radio program, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again.
You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. Let's go right back, and we were talking with Terry. Reiki treatment offered to her by a friend. Sheri, what's your thought?
You know, I think you guys gave great counsel, and this is the thing that I think is the challenge for most of us as empaths. You know, as empaths, we end up at times caring more about how that other person will feel than we actually feel. Mm-hmm. And that worry, that concern, that need to feel kind, a concern that we would let them down, that we might disappoint them or hurt their feelings, often puts us in a category of being chronic pleasers. I think of the book, you know, How We Love, and that pleaser part are the empaths. But in growing our muscles, learning how to do exactly what the guy has said is just speak your truth. You will feel anxiety, but anxiety when you talk to her doesn't mean stop. Mm-hmm. Anxiety is just about your fear of her being hurt, and you let that anxiety just pass through you. It's not permanent. It won't take your life out, right? It's just a feeling that you're going to have that comes along with the package of being an empath. It's an amazing gift to have, and we just have to grow our muscles in learning how to say no. And one of my secret words that I use when I'm feeling anxious about having to say no is I use the word unfortunately. Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, I'm just not able to do that. But I would love to go to lunch with you, right, to celebrate my birthday. Yeah. And it's a softer, instead of no, it's a softer way. And myself as an empath, I'm like, unfortunately, it just softens the blow for me. So I can say that a lot more than no.
And I think it's important that you not talk about Christianity at that moment, because you'll have other opportunities to do that. But you don't want to shame her in offering you a gift that you just don't feel comfortable about. But you've been through a lot, and there's just nothing wrong with saying, I've just been through a lot, and I don't think I could enjoy it. So thank you. Maybe another time. What's that?
I have a question. I have a follow-up on that.
Okay.
Because I think that in my own school of God that I'm in, that this is being pushed into deeper water for me to develop those muscles, as it was worded, to be able to have a no that is strong and clear, but yet considers the other at the same time with grace. So I think that the discomfort for me more so is about the philosophy behind it. And so I don't want to press a point, but I also don't want to be in hiding either.
No, you shouldn't be in hiding.
How could I say that simply?
Well, you could say it. I don't know enough about it, but it kind of seems like it might, I don't know, interfere with what I believe and about power, God, things like that. I mean, if you have to do that, you just do it in a nice, gentle, almost reluctant way, because you want to be sensitive to her. That's why you're asking this question. How do I do it? I am sensitive to her feeling the rejection. And yes, she will. But I think you're on the right path there.
Terry, did you grow up in a home where there was tension because of control, issues of control?
I would say that I lived in a 97% perfect childhood, but that 3% that wasn't was pretty toxic, and there was rage that would get triggered. And I was a firstborn compliant child, the sensitive child. All we had to do was look at Terry. And so I, because of the other abuse that happened in addition to that, there was no place for me to go to share my feelings when I was afraid.
Yep,
and
makes so much sense.
Highly in tune with others' feelings, because I had to take care of that little girl inside of me somehow.
I love that. And the reason I was asking is because sometimes when we've grown up in an environment like yours, where the sleight of hands, you pick up on stuff, and just looking at you the wrong way, you would take that in. We have to grow in learning how to let somebody live their life with Reiki, and then you can live your life without it, and you can still be friends. Like, we don't have to fix somebody else's philosophy.
Right.
Jesus did this all the time, right?
Nor even have to defend our own.
We don't.
Yeah.
He spent time with tax gatherers and, people, prostitutes, and think about how he rolled. He was always a truth bearer. He never compromised the truth, but neither did he feel compelled to have to change somebody else's philosophy. But when we've grown up in a home where we feel we've not been able to hold our own space, sometimes we have this tension to feel like I've got to declare or fix or judge or protect myself. And you really don't. You are protected.
All right. So I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back. Healing is a Choice. I hope those are helpful to you. And here's what we say all the time around here. You never know the depth of a relationship until you have to say no to the other person on an issue in the relationship. I mean, really, if it's all okay, yes, you never really see what's there. You're going to find out what's really there. Larry's not with us today. He usually comes in, but he sent along a little testimony beforehand. It's about Every Man's Battle. The person that went to Every Man's Battle said, I came into the workshop with little to no hope for recovery. I felt exhausted at my failed attempts to escape from pornography and masturbation. I leave feeling hope that true healing comes from intimacy with God, self, and others. I am leaving with a plan which will bring me to victory. See, that's what happens. You develop some hope enough to follow a plan you've never had before, and you leave without the shame. You leave with a plan, and it is phenomenal how many men are free. Every Man's Battle, it's this weekend, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And if you want to support somebody, well, how cool is it that somebody couldn't afford it and you call up and say, give this to somebody. I want to give a scholarship. And then when they get better, you are part of that transformation. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We're doing some great things because God is with us, allowing us to do great things. If you want to be a part of it, please come support us, and I'll send you 100 days to freedom from shame. All right, let's go right here to Mary from Washington, D.C., Sirius XM Satellite Radio. Mary, how are you today?
I'm really great. How are you?
Excellent.
Thank you for taking my call. I made the decision to just try and change some things in my life. I'm 61, and I can't believe that I'm still having to struggle with.
Hope you cut out there. You want to try that again? Let's see.
Sorry. I said I'm 61, and I'm just wanting to live a better life. I want to live who God's asking me to be, not other people.
Well, good for you.
But
What's the question for us then?
So I'm 61, and I'm constantly having people tell me what I should do. And I don't know why. I know that you teach people how to treat you, so I'm guessing that it's on me. But a little bit of background, I had an alcoholic father. I'm from a very large family. I have a twin. My dad expected us to only think like him, toe the line. It was he was a very critical man. No grace, all truth.
Okay.
So I learned to shut down and just toe the line all the time. And I think that is still affecting me as a 61-year-old.
Because of our time limit, I want you to ask me a question because we got to go to a break here in a second, and I want to answer this for you. What's the question for us?
Well, I want to know how to handle the people who tell me what I should be doing or not doing, because I question myself, and I want to know at this point in my life what I can do to stop feeling like I'm not making the right decisions based on what other people think.
All right. You hear the music. We're going to go to a break. When we come back, I would like you to give us a specific example of where somebody said, I want you to do this, or told you to do this, and you didn't want to and didn't know how to respond. A very specific example. We'll get back to you, Mary, right after this. You're listening to New Life Live. We'll be here another hour, 20 minutes. 1-800-229-3000. If you need help, why struggle alone? Why keep on doing what you've been doing? Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, and you've got somebody, an advocate for your future right there on the line. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We'll be back after this. Hi, Steve Arterburn here. The thing that we've been doing here for over 3 decades is trying to help people see there is a better way. And I don't know of anybody that doesn't have something that they couldn't be working on.
The Repurpose Life online conference is Saturday, September 24th. The topics addressed are for anyone who wants to move from the pain and struggles of the past towards a healthy, happier future. Steve and Misty Arterburn, Chris Williams, and Becky Brown will cover topics like how to move from past hurts and trauma, building your community, codependency, failure and recovery, recovery from the pandemic, and much more.
The Repurpose Conference is something I'm really excited for because it really is addressing the life recovery process. But again, we all need recovery.
To register or to find out more about the Repurposed Life online conference, call 1-800-639-5433 or liferecoverygroups.com. Chris Williams on coaching.
Oftentimes I get asked, what is the difference between therapy and coaching? The biggest difference between the two is that a therapist is going to be looking for a diagnosable mental health condition, whereas a coach is going to look at a particular issue and help a person work through that.
If you need a coach, call New Life today and ask about the New Life Coaching Network. Our coaches have been trained and screened with the same intensive process we use for our network counselors.
If you're looking at an issue in your life that you just kind of want to change, whether it be your weight or leadership or other areas of behavioral patterns, check out coaching. There can be some really, really helpful things for you.
Take control of your life and take action to achieve your goals. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 and talk to us about getting a new life coach. 1-800-NEW-LIFE. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back, and we're talking to Mary. Now, I've asked Mary to give us a specific example what someone might want her to do or tell her to do, and she doesn't want to do it. What is that, Mary? What's an example of that?
Okay, so I have a girlfriend that I've known for 35 years, and on 3 separate occasions, she has told me that when I dress, I need to dress according to the group that I'm going to be around. In other words, if I'm going to go somewhere where there women are overweight, maybe not real attractive or in shape, I need to dress down for them so they don't feel bad. And it was specifically talking about my high school reunion. Somebody told her that I looked good at it, and she told me I shouldn't have gone to trouble to look as good as I did, apparently. She didn't see what I wore. She has no idea. It was based on what this other person told her.
Okay,
and
let me ask you this. Ask you this. What's wrong with dressing down for a class for you? What would be wrong about that? For you to dress down so somebody else would feel comfortable?
I don't think it's my job to always be trying to figure out if someone is going to be unhappy with how I look or happy with how I look. And I feel like if they're unhappy, that's not my fault.
Well, wow. You sure said that well and easily to me. I must not be your best friend. But why can't you just say that to her? I did
tell her that.
And what did she say?
She disagreed with me. She said that she could always look her best regardless of who she was around, but she feels like I should be sensitive to other people. And I don't even know if those other people are thinking that way. So how would I even make that decision? But and then I have another friend who keeps trying to get me to date because I'm single and I've been divorced for 8 years now, and she keeps pushing it. And
what's wrong? What's wrong with dating? What would you see wrong with you wanting to date? What's the problem with that?
Because I realize that I'm attracted to the wrong kind of guy, and I want to fix that.
Well, you sure said that quickly and well to me. Why don't you just say that to the person?
It must be the friends I have, and I think that's ultimately where I'm struggling. I've done a lot of recovery. When my ex-husband left, I threw myself into recovery. I did everything and anything I could do. I've been to Celebrate Recovery with you guys, and I'm always listening to the show, reading, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And I just feel like, when am I going to get to the point in my life that I'm going to be okay with disappointing people around me?
Keep working till you do, but let's hear from Sheri and then Chris.
Are you a fraternal twin or an identical twin?
I'm fraternal.
How close are you to your twin?
We used to be really close until the last couple of years when the world went upside down.
Right.
We have very different views on things.
And how are you with your twins' different views? How are you inside?
That's funny that you ask because I miss her, but I can't get into conversations with her because it always comes down to I'm not doing what I should be doing or thinking about what I should be thinking.
Do you know, I love your tears. Do you know, my dear, this is the heart of the issue right here. Yes, your dad.
Well, I always thought it was my father.
I know, and you know what? It is your father, but it's your twin, too. And let me tell you what's unique to being a twin. twins have their own challenges growing up in the world. They struggle. Not everyone, but let me just give you some general ones. Because they're a twin, they struggle with feelings of competition that non-twin people don't struggle with as much. Because they're a twin, they struggle with some identity issues, trying to figure out who they are, because you're always relating to that. Everybody's looking at you as a set, salt and pepper, or, salt and salt, whatever, but it comes with the package. There's some separation anxiety that comes with being twins. So
we're almost out of time. What should she do? What's her best path?
I would have you do some work around that, and I would have you imagine in your mind a triplet, a third person, but I want that twin to be you. I want you to build a relationship with you like you would a twin. I want you to focus in on what you need. I want you to really feel it's not selfish, it's self-care on your identity, on feelings of separation, and just really work on becoming yourself. But just do some work around that.
Yeah, because
Chris, what are your thoughts here as we're having to wrap up?
Yeah, so Mary, on the inside, you have dealt a lot of your life with question marks rattling inside of your heart and your brain. And the periods are placed by other people. And sometimes even the exclamation points. Yep. It's now your job to put the period at the end of your own sentence and let them deal with it. It's time for you to put the exclamation point at the end of your own sentence and let other people deal with it. Now, there's a magnet in us that goes to familiarity because it mistakes it for comfort. And so we got to find a new comfort, and that is discovering that there are people out there who may think and believe a little bit differently than us, or just have differences and still love and accept us for both our periods at the end of our sentences and our exclamation points. But your job is to turn those question marks into periods and exclamation points and make sure it's your hand and not somebody else's.
All right. Thank you, Chris. I'm so glad that you called. I'm going to send you Take Your Life Back, and I'm going to send you a Life Recovery Bible and the workbook that goes with it, and I just wish you would just go work those steps on this particular issue. God bless you. Thank you for calling us. Really, really
so
glad.
Relatable to so many of us.
Absolutely.
Right?
So true, so true. Well, if you turn in your Bible to Romans 8:1, it says this: "Therefore there is now no condemnation for those who are in Christ Jesus." That's pretty powerful and often overlooked, that there is no condemnation when we accept Christ as our Savior and we accept His death and burial and resurrection as our path to heaven. Jeremiah 6:16, one of my favorite passages: "Stop at the crossroads, look around, search for the old godly path. Walk in its steps, and you will find peace for your soul." That says to me, if we're not walking in the path, then we don't have peace. If we are peaceless, and Jesus is the Prince of Peace, there is something that we can do. There is more to be done. We should never give up until we've tried everything. One thing you could try: Every Man's Battle this weekend, or on September the 24th, the Repurposed Life Recovery Conference. It's virtual, it's 4 hours, it's going to be a great time. Or Intimacy in Marriage, October 21st, in person in Dallas, Texas. Restore. Oh my goodness, so many women have been impacted by a man who did not have sexual integrity. We love helping people who have been hurt. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out about Restore. And then we have a Rhine River Cruise, October 6th through the 13th. Lumina, great event for women, November 3rd and 4th. Life Recovery Today, that's every Thursday. Hey, you can just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE, find out about that. Phone number for the next program, 1-800-229-3000.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you. But you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again tomorrow for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.